This was and is a breeding fetish. That's what's going on here. It's a breeding fetish. They want and are sexually attracted to the idea of impregnating women. That's it. We can see it for what it is now. And even the Rolling Stone is writing things out. This is a sentence in the Rolling Stone in 2023, in the year of our Lord. The Fox host shares Musk's breeder kink. This is a line. This is a line in the Rolling Stone right now. In the second night of the two-part interview between Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson, the two traded notes on their shaped impulse to impregnate as many women as possible.
I mean, the urge to have sex and to procreate is, after breathing and eating, the most basic urge. Yeah. How has it been subverted?
Well, it's just in the past, we could rely upon...
I don't have an urge to breathe. I just do it. It's a default setting. Like, what is it called again? The medulla oblongata, or the part of your brain that just doesn't... I don't have a fucking deep-seated urge to make my heart beat. I'm not like, fucking pump, buddy. Whoa! This is already glorious. I thought he said breed. Well, yeah, no, they're talking about breeding. But, like, I also want to... I have opinions. Fam, I got opinions on this. I want to tweet about this. This is fucking funny as fuck. Oh man, great. Like, all of you are betraying yourselves so rapidly. Every fucking bigot is also just like, I'm horny. I don't want you to know I'm horny, so instead I'm gonna deep throat a Bud Light can. But I am horny. I do have this really big black dildo. I'm gonna deep throat it as a bit. I'm not doing this because I like doing this. I'm not doing this because I enjoy it. I'm doing this to prove a point. What's the point exactly? I think the point, when I get down to brass tacks, is that you're all deeply sad. You all hate yourselves, and you're all ashamed. You're all ashamed of the things that are swirling around up here. And because society has taught you to be ashamed in one way, actually not even society, okay? Sexual repression, you have just been stuck in the fucking echo chamber, and it is an echo chamber, of the Christian, like, fucking nationalist side, the Puritan side of the fucking discourse. You have been fucking trapped there, because guess what? The left is like, it's okay to be horny. It's okay to be horny. It's all right. And it's also okay to not be horny. Both are valid. If you're not attracted to anyone, that's okay. If you're horny, that's okay. You're human. We're all human, you know? We're all collectively deciding together, collectively as a society, that these are things that we should be okay with ourselves for, you know? It's okay to be gay. It's okay to be straight. I mean, it's a weird thing to say out loud, but it's okay. All of this is okay. It's okay to be a sexual person. Also okay to be an asexual person. Both are okay. You're all people. We're all people. We're all people. It's not hurting anyone. It's not causing any harm. It's all consenting adults doing what they do. Then everything is good. We're good. You're okay. It's one side that is basically telling you, you are fucking filled with sin. Sinful cum. Sinful fucking cum. And that sinful cum is sinful, and you have to be ashamed of yourself. And the reason why I'm specifically saying cum is because, let's be real, this happens to fall along the lines of, like, a lot of cis men are the ones who are basically like, I hate beer now. Why do you hate beer? Because beer wronged me somehow. How did the beer wrong you? How did the beer wrong you to such a degree that you're willing to, like, I don't know, publicly get a criminal record, like spend time in jail maybe? Why, like, oh no, shit, it's been exposed. You happen to be a big ass PDF file. Fucking hell. Okay, so there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on here. You're pretty fucked up. Seems like a lot of the groomer accusations, especially directed towards the LGBTQ, are being done by groomers. By groomers. The most vocal of the groomer. It, like, in proportion, almost. At one point, you know, I can't wait till we have a study that gets us to see the more, like, proportional fucking anger at LGBTQ people and calling like drag queens groomers, calling trans people groomers, calling bisexual people groomers, calling gay people groomers is in proportion to how much of a groomer you are. The more of a groomer that you are, the more you can't shut the fuck up about fucking queer people being groomers. So it's like, and it seems like the more you take this to task, where you will actually enact violence or do shit in the real world, well, yes, the more of the groomer that you are. Like, and why does this keep playing out? It's fucking wild, you know? It's like, it's so wild. It's under start settings keyboard. You know how Hassan has the fucking like Hassan smash where he hit the desk so hard that it fucking you could see the camera shake and all that kind of stuff, and it just became like a meme. Like mine is so much worse. Like I get so fucking mad about this, but I actually just spilled cranberry juice all over my keyboard, so my keyboard doesn't work anymore. I still have my mouse, so the stream ain't stopping. We're not stopping. We're getting through this. We're gonna keep on going, but I do have to wipe up some of the cranberry juice that is still. Okay, so I can't even access. You know what? Fuck it. We're not going to deal with the keyboard shit. But the keyboard shit is not important. What is important is impregnation and the impregnation fetish of both Tucker Carlson and Elon Musk, now on full display for the world to see. Okay, that makes sense. Like a lot is being explained right now. You have an impregnation fetish. Here we are. Like we're learning about ourselves.
Great. So we haven't yet evolved to deal with that, because this is all fairly recent. You know, the last 50 years or so. For birth control. You know, so I'm sort of worried that, hey, civilization, you know, if we don't make enough people to at least sustain our numbers, perhaps increase a little bit, then civilization is going to crumble. There's the old question of like, will civilization end with a bang or a whimper? Well, it's...
Okay, so by the way, this doesn't have to only be LGBTQ plus. Like clearly you can see right here, right? So Elon Musk, he's straight cis dude. You know, there's no reason to think that he's otherwise. Obsessed with impregnation. Absolutely obsessed with impregnation. And like this goes down to this whole like, you know, society controlling women shit, because like that's another reason why so much of the right-wing anger and hatred towards trans women is it's such a tell, you know? Like Alejandra fucking clocked Ben Shapiro so hard yesterday by just straight up being like, you want to police me so I can tell that you see me as a woman. Like that's such a fucking beautiful fucking destruction of Ben, because like it gets to the core of all this. Yes, like this is still about treating women like property. And when you get trans misogyny, well, now we have an intersection that explains why dudes are fucking losing their minds, because they've been losing their minds towards women all along, and because they see them as women, but they don't want to like tell people they see them as women because that would make them gay. Then all of a sudden they're willing to like just fucking go nuts, go to town on this shit. And that's going weird that he won't have enough indentured servants to trip to Mars. You know what's so wild about this loss and like Elon Musk and all this fucking fucked up shit is that like at the end of the day, so much of this is a tell. Like it's fucking ridiculous that you are trying to get your employees to jerk you the fuck off, or you are impregnating subordinate employees at your place of business and then bragging about how fucking necessary it is for the human race to breed as much as possible, because if we don't breed as much as possible, we'll fail as a civilization. Breed. You know, like it's, you give yourselves away.
Currently trying to end with a whimper in adult diapers.
Yes.
Which is depressing as hell.
Wait, what? Sorry.
A bang or a whimper. Well, it's currently trying to end with a whimper in adult diapers.
Yes.
Which is depressing as hell.
Chat, can I ask you for a favor? I can't type because I don't have a keyboard because I was too excited and spilled cranberry juice all over my keyboard. Could you link me a longer version of this interview? Because this seems too wild to ignore, to be completely honest with you. Things are happening real fast in real time. So I'm gonna need your help, and I'm gonna need to know more. Musk has made the population crisis something of a pet cause for a long time. Declaring to his audience at the Wall Street Journal event in 2021, "I can't emphasize this enough, there are not enough people," and urging them to have more children. The billionaire holds these views in spite of slamming bills that allocate federal funding for childcare and running the company allegedly firing employees for becoming pregnant, because this is an unhealthy fetishization that you have formed. That again, this is what's happening. You can see this, right? This is not actually that you care about these causes or these issues. This is you fucking broadcasting on main in 4K that you have an impregnation fetish. That's what this is. This is an impregnation fetish. That's what Elon Musk has, and he's making it everyone else's business, and has been for a really long time. And I guess Tucker Carlson as well. Like, both of them have impregnation fetishes. You know, and they clearly have not worked through this. Again, we're not here to kink shame. I'm not here to kink shame anyone who's got an impregnation fetish. If you are, again, in any sexual activity that you're doing, if you're doing things that do not cause harm to other people, and you are not doing things that are going to be damaging to yourself, society writ large, all that kind of stuff, then you may be or may not be in the realm of paraphilias. When you are in paraphilias, such as pedophiles, yes, fuck pedophiles. Fuck those fucking motherfuckers, and they shouldn't be offending pedophiles. 100% true. 100% true. If you have things you're working through, if you have things that you are trying to deal with, if you have Steph, breeders, breeders are wild. Breeders are wild. I'll be honest. But like, here's the thing. You're making it everyone else's problem. And that's the part that sucks. Like, if you are obsessed with trans people to the point where you are on one end watching all the trans porn in the world, and at the same time being like, I have to control you, then this is a problem. This is a problem. And you're making it other people's problem, you know? It's a you issue that you're blowing up into the world.
I am not going to do a full segment on part 2 of the Elon Musk Tucker Carlson interview. Yesterday we looked at part 1 and we looked at a bunch of it. There are 2 clips that I am compelled to play for you, though.
I see. This is why I keep saying, everyone is like, Lance, you are just so overjoyed. I gotta keep telling you, as a comedian, as a lover of comedy, so much of this is so wondrous. So wondrous. As sad and as much as it broke my heart to go through the Anna Kasparian TYT saga, the fact that Sam Cedar is talking about being a semen distributor is very, very funny. And as someone who cares deeply and passionately about a lot of these things, like civil rights and making sure people aren't oppressed and allowing people to live their best lives, it's been so fucking darling. So now to see David Pakman frame this in the most David Pakman of ways, like, that could not be more David Pakman. Like again, if I asked ChatGPT to script David Pakman talking about Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson having breeding fetishes, that is exactly how it would come out. This is so David Pakman to frame it in such a way, like, where it is both throwing shade. Like, David Pakman, honestly, you were British in another lifetime. I gotta say, my dude, you have dry British wit down to a fucking science. No one can do I've never met, I think, another American who can do dry British wit the way that David Pakman can do, where it, like, well, maybe Amy Goodwin. It would be an Amy Goodwin versus David Pakman off in terms of dry British wit being done so fantastically. Because yes, I say this as someone who hates colonization, the British Empire, all this kind of stuff. Dry British wit is such a thing of utter beauty. It's so gorgeous. Like, to see people who can just subtly say things and you can't even detect it until too late, and like until you're just like, oh, whoa, oh, damn, you were throwing a lot of shade there. Oh, that was coded. You encoded it. It's like Matrix style stuff. Wonderful.
Oh, this is so weird. Elon and Tucker.
And then he broke. I gotta do an instant replay on this one.
Oh, this Carlson interview. Yesterday we looked at part 1 and we looked at a bunch of it. There are 2 clips that I am compelled to play for you, though. Oh, this is so weird. Elon and Tucker.
That's it's so wonderful. That's why this is all so funny. I was like, why is this also happening in rapid fire, by the fucking way? Why is this all coming out so fast and furious? It's like all of a sudden next day it's like, hey, by the way, did you know that Elon Musk and Tucker Carlson this entire time actually have a breeding fetish? It's like, wait, what? What? I'm sorry, my body still hurts from yesterday where I was losing my shit, okay? I was losing my shit about Matt Walsh and the dude who fucking might be going to jail because he destroyed Bush Light by accident, and now all of a sudden the breeding fetish is coming. What? David Pakman is even breaking over this?
Talked about the urge to impregnate women as the interview really took a strain.
And by the way, if this crosses into a paraphilia, as it has for Elon Musk, it's a paraphilia. It is damaging to society in which Elon Musk enacts in the real world his breeding fetish. So that at that point, that's a problem. You need to sort that out. If you were just in the comfort of and you know, whatever of your home, and you're like, hey, I want to pretend that I'm impregnating you, but I don't want to forcibly impregnate you. Are you consensually okay with that? I in no way want to make you uncomfortable. Like, those are two very separate things. But Elon Musk in this case, he is enacting into the real world his breeding fetish. So it is dangerous. It is dangerous. And like the fact that they're broadcasting this stuff on Fox News of all places and being okay.
Turn. Listen to this.
I mean, the urge to have sex.
What is a paraphilia? Like if you're a pedophile, like it is completely 100% scientifically, okay or whatever, to think that person was born that way, but that person should not be an offending pedophile, because if they are an offending pedophile, they're going to harm and hurt children. So we should, as a society, and this is honestly the most right-wing thing about me, where I have to fight my actual urges, and maybe this is because I've had so many family members who've been fucking raped and abused, is that like, for me, it's like the wall, you know, that's my gut reaction. That's my feels over the wheels. For me, it's just like, fuck him. I believe in the death penalty for the first time, right? And I don't. I as a principle, I have to fucking fight the irrationality of my fucking feelings and emotions in this case to be like, okay, so as a society, what is technically best? Well, what is technically best is that pedophiles and pedophile offenders and stuff like that do not offend and do not harm children. How do we get down that road? How do we do this? How do we get to a place where pedophiles are not fucking raping kids, touching kids, doing anything to kids? Well, if this is the pathway in the course, then okay, we need to identify this. And that's why they are things, and this is really well discussed within, if you start learning about sexual theory, start learning about, people within sex-based, academic communities. That's one of the reasons why, like, for example, the BDSM community, of which I am not a part of, I'm not a person who's into BDSM, but I've learned a lot from BDSM people who have explained why in BDSM, which is something that can involve scenarios sexually, that people would oftentimes maybe have bad or dangerous encounters. So there's a lot of things that are put in place in the BDSM community to make sure there's safety. There's a lot of things that are put in place in the BDSM, like they know about consent so much more than the rest of us. They know about consent like fucking hell, and they teach each other about consent, and they're so clear about this, and they're always just like, this is so very important that we understand and know how important consent is in our community, because otherwise there is a danger to each other. So this is important to us. We want to do things that regular people might not want to do. Like, if you want to be hurt for sexual pleasure, that's okay, as long as you are not going to hurt the other person beyond the realm of which they consent, right? To a point as well, by the way. There are things that are beyond the realm of what consensual BDSM communities feel is accurate. So when you learn about all of that from another community, I'm like, okay, I'm not into BDSM. It's not my thing. I was not born that way, but some people are, and that's totally fine. And they are also taking and going to great lengths and extremes to be able to like protect and insulate themselves within this community. And it's one of those things also where when you learn a lot about this kind of thing, you learn that, like, so you'll probably learn a lot of this if you start reading queer theory, because the LGBTQ plus community has always had to grapple with being pedo-jacked, with being fucking accused of being gay, accused of being pedophiles or accused of being groomers, just by virtue of existing. Because people who want to oppress the queer community, who want to eliminate queers, who want to get rid of queers, blah, 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 they need everyone to get on board and think that they are a danger to society. What's the worst thing you can be on earth? What's the word? Pedophile. So we associate the two. We start saying that the queers are also inherently pedophiles. And unfortunately, that hasn't changed. Unfortunately, they're still doing this. Unfortunately, they're like fucking the Matt Walshes of the world, all these motherfuckers, they're still pedo-jacketing queer folk, LGBTQ plus folk, and like right now, especially trans folk. It's like this has become the centerpiece of the culture war, and because it's a little bit more socially acceptable than, say, going after white gay men, we're gonna go after trans people publicly. We're gonna hold rallies. We're gonna do all this shit. Oh, fuck. What up, Casey Explosion? Really good to see you. Casey Explosion is so base. Go to twitch.tv/Casey Explosion. She's awesome. That's like a time-honored tradition. And so that's why there's a lot of people who study queer history, a lot of people who are like, you know what? There has to be a very strong outcry and a very deep understanding of like, okay, there are differences between being sexually attracted to someone of the same gender as there are differences between that and being sexually attracted to children. And we have to have names and words and ways to describe the people who are sexually attracted to children, because the queer community has to deal with pedophiles all the fucking time. That's the shitty thing. Like the queer community is like, trans people are more often the victims of sexual assault than they are the perpetrators. The majority of perpetrators are cis, straight men in all categories. They check off all the boxes, and this is not to shit on like fucking straight dudes. This is just to be like, this is the reality of the situation. So now that we know this, we need to identify it, we need to talk about it, and we need to, like, if you care about keeping kids safe, do not have debates about whether or not it's appropriate to have a huge titty like cartoon drawing be technically, in the lore of the canon, a 3-year-old. Like that shouldn't be what you are advocating for. You should be advocating for the fact that everyone, you should all know this, the most common offenders, the most common sexual offenders are family members. They're family members, friends, people of close contact, priests, like the Catholic Church. Like these are the environments in which children are abused. They are abused when they are in close proximity, and almost always cis straight men are the ones abusing the kids. This is the facts, the data.
In the past, we could rely upon simple limbic system rewards
Yes.
in order to procreate. But once you have birth control and abortions and whatnot, now you can still satisfy the limbic instinct, but not procreate. So we haven't yet evolved to deal with that, because this is all fairly recent, the last 50 years or so, for birth control. So I'm sort of worried.
I thought this, by the way, and like, I caught a lot of heat for it when I saw the Elon Musk / Joe Rogan conversation. I hadn't listened to a lot of him talk for extended periods of time, but that was the first moment where I was like, wait, what? This is the person who's considered to be like the world's smartest human, like this mega genius. Like, he just sees things to such a degree that we can't comprehend. Like, he's the only one who understands it. And like, we'll get there maybe in like 200 years. But for now, Elon Musk is just this little fucking 9,000 IQ star child space Karen come to like save us all. I was like, why do people believe that? Like, that was the Emperor Wears No Clothes moment for me. When I was like watching that interview. I was watching that interview and I was like, hey, this is weird. This is unusual. He's seen some pretty silly things. And this is one of those moments where I was like, how did we all not collectively see this earlier? How do we not see this? Like, this is so weird and silly.
That, hey, civilization, if we don't make enough people to at least sustain our numbers, perhaps increase a little bit, then civilization is going to crumble.
This is actually, I mean, this is like wacky stuff, and you can tell from the look on Tucker Carlson's face that it's not even clear he really knows the direction this is going.
It's true. It's weird. It's unusual. Like, I don't think we've had anything in human history to this degree in terms of like someone who at one point was the richest human being on the planet is basically exposing himself for having a breeding fetish, and then someone else who is this really prominent right-wing conservative piece of shit also has a breeding fetish, and so the two of them are being like they're being seen in real time. The two of them are like, so I'm not the only one. The problem being that they both have very unhealthy breeding fetishes, and they're actually going to enact. Well, I mean, I can't speak for Tucker. I don't know what shit is in his skeleton closet. But in terms of Elon, we have documented evidence that his breeding fetish is a danger to society, and so to see two people just react to that. That's unique. That's unique. Like, even fucking David Pakman is kind of just like, you know, he's trying to do his David Pakman thing. He's trying to not break. He's trying to be able to maintain his bits. But it's also like, oh, damn. Oh, damn. Elon, you have a breeding fetish. I want my keyboard back. Fam, I want my keyboard back. My keyboard is still dysfunctional. It's shot. It's fried. My keyboard is fried because I spilled cranberry juice on it because I got too excited in the middle of my segments on all of this shit, and I want to be able to tweet about Elon Musk's fucking breeding fetish. Because it's so funny. It's so funny.
There's a couple interesting things here, because on the one hand, what Elon
I can't
Musk
use my
is
cell
saying
stuff.
is quite reminiscent
Twitter
of
on my
right wing.
Sorry, Twitter on my cell is unusable because of how shitty Elon Musk is. It's mostly a spinning circle. When I log on, like try to log on, I just sit there looking at the circle. I'm like, well, I'm not doing this. It works. It's still enough for me to be super engaged on desktop, but on my cell phone, Android, the Android version of Twitter, I had a friend who told me the other day that they're using, because you can do this on Androids, you can't do this on iPhones, but they're using like an old version of Twitter, and I got to deboomer myself to figure out how to install it, because like, oh, it runs so smooth. There's like this older version of Twitter that doesn't have like any of the Elon Musk garbage and the fucking, you know, for you tab or all that kind of stuff, right?
Strict father morality ideology when it comes to birth control. And one of the things that some on the right don't like about birth control, you know, you do hear some of them say, well, it kind of goes against the Bible. You're not supposed to.
I'll get a new keyboard, Winston.
It'll
be here tomorrow.
Parts of scripture, but there's some religious claims that birth control violates the Bible. But for a lot of these right wingers, and again, I don't think Elon Musk is a right-winger on so many different issues, but he's delving here into a view that is very, very prominent on the right wing.
Okay, so even if Elon Musk in his heart of hearts is not a right-winger, at this point, the amount of utility he does to the right, especially the far right, fucking full-on Nazis, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter what he personally believes in his heart of heart. What matters is from my outside perspective is what is he being useful for? It's the same thing with like, is Glenn Greenwald in his heart of hearts? Does he really, really hate trans people? I don't think so. A lot of these people, I think deep down, especially fellow like LGBTQ plus people, I don't think they hate the rest of us as much as they fucking sound like they do sometimes online. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what deep down, what the feels are, you know?
The opposition to birth control isn't so much religious. It's that you shouldn't be able to engage in what they call non-procreative sex and not have consequences. You should suffer. The strict father, that's why we call it the strict father morality, would say, if you're going to engage in sexual intercourse, there should be the consequences of a pregnancy, and if there is, you should be forced to carry the baby to the baby to term.
Got a lot of Gearbox. Thank you for the $5. Appreciate you.
Post.news. It's chud-free and better than Twitter.
Post.news. Let me check that out. Oh, wow. It's like a phantom keyboard. It's that feeling where like I didn't even think, and then all of a sudden I was like, but I will remember that.
He's kind of falling into that. Like it's dangerous that we've separated the limbic response from the procreation, and now we have a low birth rate. He's kind of toying with that same stuff. And then there's the low birth rate thing, which has become a focus for Elon Musk.
A question of like, will civilization end with a bang or a whimper? Well, it's currently trending to end with a whimper in adult diapers, which is depressing as hell.
The most depressing.
Yeah.
War is less.
Clean up your room.
Oh, thank you, Andrew Kumar. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Wow, what a time. What a time. This is so wild. We got David Pakman having to be reserved, having to reserve his emotions at this moment in history as he learns about the fucking potential diaper fetish. Like, that's just in addition to everything else that's been going on.
It's depressing.
Yeah, it's really got with a bang.
Yeah, and that, with your shoes on.
Yeah.
Not with your
more
diaper on.
exciting.
There you go. So Tucker Carlson visibly sucking up to Elon Musk throughout the entire interview. All right. They did also talk about the topic of aliens, which was an interesting moment.
Yeah.
A lot of people ask me, you know, where are the aliens? And I think if anyone would know about aliens on Earth, it would probably be me.
I would think.
Yeah, I'm, you know, very familiar with space stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen no evidence of aliens. So
There you go.
I would immediately tweet it out.
He seems arrow with a breeding fetish. Interesting. Oh, that's an interesting read. So if you don't know, Chad, we learned a lot about ace people and the ace spectrum by watching a wonderful video by ace content creator. And there is a big difference between being asexual and being aromantic. So for example, aromantic people do not want to have romantic relationships with other people. That doesn't mean that they aren't inherently sexual or might not have sexual attractions. They can. You can be both asexual and be aromantic, but being aromantic means that you do not want to be in a romantic relationship with somebody. See, I am not that. I am not. And if you are aromantic, that's 100% valid and beautiful. The same thing if you are asexual, 100% valid and beautiful. You are all wonderful, wondrous, amazing, beautiful people. And so the thing is, with Elon, if that was the case, that would be a very interesting combination, especially because like there's it's one of those things where there would be multiple things going on at once, and so you have to be so careful about how you talk about this and discuss it, in that if he is actually aromantic and that's just who he is, but he's combined that with a very unhealthy paraphilia, which is that he has to actually enact a breeding fetish, not in a way in which it is a consensual breeding fetish, but it's just he's doing a lot of things that are obviously very, very potentially damaging to women. So in that case, it could be a situation in which he is again a very unique combination of things. Oh, I know why Elon's chest sticks out like that. He's either wearing a bulletproof vest.
All time. Probably top tweet of all time. I found one, guys. It's a jackpot. There's some 8 billion likes, you know. Next level jackpot if you find it.
There you go. So big reward on Twitter for whoever announces proof of aliens, and every aspect of this interview very, very strange. And this will certainly help to endear Elon Musk further with the right-wing community, given the hero's welcome by Tucker Carlson. Let's call this long two-night nightmare of the Elon Tucker interview over, and we can move on from there. One of the best ways.
I gotta do shit with David Pakman again. We vibe really well. He's a good lib. He's a good lib, you know? There's some good libs. I keep saying there's good libs out there. Seems like a good bean. The Fox News host shares Musk's breeder's kink as described the total collapse of testosterone levels in American men. That's also true. It makes complete sense now. Why is Tucker Carlson doing all these specials about dude's sperm? And like a lot of people rush to be like, oh, because he's gay. And it's not that he's gay. He is very concerned about men's sperm counts, not because he wants to guzzle the cum, but because he wants that cum to impregnate people. This was and is a breeding fetish. That's what's going on here. It's a breeding fetish. They want and are sexually attracted to the idea of impregnating women. That's it. We can see it for what it is now. And even the Rolling Stone is writing things out. This is a sentence in the Rolling Stone in 2023, in the year of our Lord. The Fox host shares Musk's breeder kink. This is a line. This is a line in the Rolling Stone right now. So again, I like this is what I'm trying to explain to everyone who's like, Lance, why are you so beside yourself? I was like, this is all so funny. This timeline is, it is whack. It is like this timeline. Like I made a joking prediction at the start of 2023 that this was going to be the year of the strange, and like, that's a shot in the dark. This could have been the year of the horror, you know? This could have been the year where like a civil war literally broke out in the United States and all of a sudden all this violence happened towards like queer folk. But like this so far has been the year of the strange. And right now it's moving in a direction so fast and furious at exposing all of these fucking fascists who want to control people for why they want to control them. And now that they're all being seen publicly, it's making so many people rapidly like wake up and be like, oh my god, that explains it. That explains it. Oh, I get this. This is why you're doing what you're doing. Okay, fine. Elon Musk has a breeder. Elon Musk is sexually attracted to the idea of impregnating women. That's his thing. That is his fetish, that is his kink, and he is having an unhealthy effect on people because of it. You know, he's not healthily, he does not have a healthy relationship with his kink. That's what's important to understand here. All right, he does not have a healthy relationship to his kink, and because of that, he's taking it out on other people. And so many other motherfucking people right now are showing themselves. They're just exposing themselves in real time because, like, yeah, okay, oh god, we see you. I understand now. If you simultaneously want to control people, if you're like, I need to dominate and control women, and I'm just like, oh, that's fucked up. Because, like, honestly, again, I keep reverting to this. Human beings, our default setting is not just like we need to make people's lives worse. It's we have empathy. We will try to help people when they are in need. That's just the wonderful goodness of people, and we can do really fucked up things, and we can do horrifying things. But like, it's a lot of times when we're doing a lot of horrifying things, it seems to be that there's other factors at play. And so it's one of those things where, like, you both want to control women, and at the same time of you wanting to control women, it's because you are sexually obsessed with impregnating them. Ah, okay. So it sucks that you are making it everyone else's problem. That's where the problem comes in. Like, the fact that you have to make other people, because of your sexual obsession, like, you know, suffer, that sucks. That sucks. That's the shitty thing, you know? Probably a eugenics kink too. I've never even heard of that. Okay, so I'm not even gonna Google it because I can't. I don't have a keyboard and I don't ever want to. But that's probably a thing, right? I'm gonna guess. There's just like human beings. Like there's a sexual obsession about everything. Everything. Like anything can be a sexual obsession to people. To the point that like there was a boat stuck in a fucking canal. And people were talking about boat pussy so fast. Like all of a sudden, all of these people on the internet were like drawing pictures of the boat getting fucked. And you're like, what? What? How did you get here so fast? That's what shocked me. I was like, it's one thing to see this boat fucking getting stuck, but it's another thing entirely to instantly be like, you know what? I don't know why, but I want to fuck that. I don't know what mathematical combination is going on right now that I see a boat getting stuck that I'm like, wood. Oh, yeah, wood. Oh, man, that boat can get it. Holy shit, that's a fucking hot-ass boat. Damn. Oh, want me some boat. You know, where you're like, whoa, that's wild. That's what, like, this problem hasn't resolved itself yet. The fucking boat getting caught and entering Rule 37 or whatever was before the fucking, it was liberated. People were so fast to start just being like, yeah, that boat can fucking, I don't know what it is, man. Normally boats, not my thing. I'm not like a boat fetishist, and I'm not normally a boat guy, but in this moment in time in history right now, ooh, yeah, damn. Oh, that boat is fucking, it's looking fine. That is a fine looking boat. Wild people, just so fast. Oh yeah. Anyways, so that's hilarious and amazing and glorious. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form, available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free, just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demo, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.